Hi everyone, welcome to the second part of the tulip leaf bows, the English boxwood and the spruce. So we're going to finish off the foliage ready to go into the container arrangement with obviously the amaryllis, the French tulip and the paper whites. So let's get started. So for the two tails, because we hung those upside down, we're just going to straighten out the wires for the tails. And I'm going to use some half-width light green floral tape. So we're just going to go around, just slide the tape up to the base of the leaf. Just need to come down just a little way, about 25, 30 millimeters, inch and a quarter, just as we've done before. Now we're going to move on to the coloring. All right, so when we do the coloring of this, what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to take some white dust-in powder. So this is white powder, which is titanium dioxide. Now with air drying clay, you can do the same, or you could actually use white acrylic paint, could be painted on the inside of the leaf, and then a dark green color on the back, and then glaze it, or you can do them in dust-in powder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the white dust-in powder. I'm going to brush this onto the leaf. So this is the same way that I showed the leaves in Flower Pro Book 2. When we did the tulip leaves, so we're just going to paint those on because this will give it sort of almost like a sort of a sagey color, a lighter color on the back. All right, and you're also going to do this on the loops as well. So you're going to do it on the inside because obviously this is folded over. So I'm just using almost a scrubbing action. So I'm going to put the white on the inside of the leaves. Okay. Now then we're taking apple green. So this is an apple green dust. It ties in with sort of the bright color we use. Also, this is a color we use on the amaryllis stem and things. And so I'm going to just brush this onto the leaf. So I'm just supporting this on my hand. Okay, so that's going to get the green. And then we're going to do this on the leaves as well, on the loops. Just come over the top of those. And then once we've done that, I've already done two, one of each. All right. So next step is we're going to then steam. So we're going to steam so these ones have already been steamed. So with air drying clay, that would mean at this stage, you would just spray that with unscented hairspray. All right. And then you could use like the Sculpey product or obviously other craft glazes that we've discussed before on that. With the sugar one, we're going to steam, and then I'm going to take these just outside and spray these with spray lacquer. So just going to put the little steam on here. It just sort of helps to separate the white and the green, although we only have one color on each side. But we're just going to steam colors like this. All right, and then I'm going to just spray this with the PME spray glaze or something comparable. Remember, there's lots of companies that do this type of product. And I'm going to spray this. But when I do a larger amount like this, it's usually easier to just do this outside. So I'm going to go and spray these, and I'll be right back. So when we do the tulip leaves, in your instructions, you only are going to glaze the front. So I just sprayed the front, or you just brush the craft glaze on the front. So the leaf, the back of the leaf will have that obviously nice muted colors because of the steaming or the hairspray. But so you steam it or hairspray all over it, but just glaze the outside, the green part of the leaf. Now we're going to take the two tails with your needle nose pliers. Going to bend one to the right and one to the left. And then I will going to add a 20 gauge wire at this point. So in your checklist, we've got a half length 20 gauge wire. So that will go here, like so. And then you're going to take the loops. Now choose the loops obviously based on the sort of the side that you feel looks better. All right, because you may have one side that's better than the other. And then you're just going to take the loop here. I'm going to put one to the right and one to the left. And then you're just going to tape this together. Now when we made the amaryllis and when we made the tulips, we obviously have made them to a certain length, the stems and things like that. We'll cut the, obviously in the last part of this, when we cut the foliage, we'll trim this to length. You see that then you have this nice bow, you see, and then the sort of the bow will sort of sit into there, and then obviously like the amaryllis is going to sort of be, so this is going to go into with the amaryllis, you see, so you're going to look really beautiful, to look like a sort of a Christmas bow, but like a green leaf bow. Okay, so that will be with making the leaves. So this is the tulip leaf bow. Next, we're going to move on to the English boxwood. So for the boxwood, we're going to assemble. Now, we will have obviously 24 large and you have 12 small, all right? So we're going to actually make 12 sprays, and we're going to do 6 to the with the small leaf, all right? So pick up a small leaf, and then what you're going to do is start your floral tape. This is quarter width floral tape. And then you're going to go around with the floral tape, just push that up to the meet right at the bottom. I'm going to come down about 2.5 centimeters, about 1 inch. And then I will then take a large leaf. Now you can just generally, if these are dry, you know, so once you don't have to use tweezers, you're going to bend about 1 inch down. So you're going to come to the right. So go around. So you see you've got the sort of straight, and then you come to the right. And then approximately about the same distance, you're going to come to the left. All right, it doesn't matter if they're a bit staggered as far as, you know, space further apart, because that'll look nice and natural. So you see, so you've got the small one, all right, so the small leaf is here, come down about 1 inch, 2.5 centimeters, then you have one to the right, about the same distance, and one to the left, all right? Now you're going to make, 6 of those, 6 sprays of those. So these will be the ones, so you see you've got the to the right and to the left. So small, then next one to the right, and then next one to the left. And then you're going to do 6, basically the opposite. So you're going to start with the small, just bring your tape up to there. So this time you're going to go to the left and then to the right. So you see the first leaf is going to be to the left of this one, and then you're going to go to the right. It just gives a slight interest in the leaves. They're not all exactly the same. And of course, when I showed them on the videos for the winter, for the wedding foliage, you know, you can of course do 3 or 4, 5 leaves in groupings. We're going to just do them 12. All right, so you have, as I said, 12 leaves where you've got small, then to the right and then to the left, and 12 leaves where you've got small and then to the left and then the right. So it's just the opposite. It's like a mirror image, all right? And that will be the leaves. Now, once we've got those to there, we're going to start to arrange them. Now, when you start, it doesn't matter how you, usually I'm just going to alternate, all right? So I'm going to take the one to the right here, and going to start off with some quarter width tape, and then we'll change to half width tape. Okay, so I'm just going to tape down a little bit. Now I'm just going to go to this one here, and I'm going to come down just a little bit. So I'm just going to the left and to the, so you see I'm just alternating between the pieces here. And we're going to do this in a sort of like a fan type of, more of a flat arrangement. And then once you get three of the leaves in, all right, then what we're going to do is just start off with quarter width tape, and then we can change out to half width tape. All right, and then I'm just gonna make it a little bit, you know, so not exactly, but just a little bit like this one will come slightly to the back. Remember, you've got the photographs of the finished sprays. And then you can put the so you have your grouping. You see in that one here, I'm just going to sort of have that a little bit more towards the top. It's more towards the center. So you're just going to put these in. So you see how you, but as I said, the overall spray is fairly flat, okay? And then you can just do like a little sub branch. So you have then one. So I'm just going to do 3. But remember, it doesn't really matter which you use, to the right, to the left ones, but just I'm just alternating them. Remember, make sure that you know, where we use the companion tool, that's going to be on the back, all right? Because the boxwood doesn't have a really strong, and then you're just going to just sort of put that in here. And then I'm going to just sort of, so you see it just gives a little bit of shape to there. And then I'm going to just put the last 2 leaves. Just going to put them into position here, like so. I'm just going to tape down the half length 20 gauge wire. So see, that's where the wire is. So really everything is in about half, you know, so there's about about a quarter of the length of the full wire, but obviously this is the 7-inch, which is a half length wire. So I've come about halfway down. It's sort of about halfway down there. All right. But of course it doesn't matter because obviously if you were to pick some boxwood from your garden, it's all going to be like a little bit different. And then next we're going to move on to the coloring of this. So for the dusting of the boxwood, I'm using a foliage green, so a sort of darkish green, and usually just put this on a napkin, and then I'm just going to dust this over the front of the leaves only. Now, of course, you could do this before you assemble it, but it's sort of fairly easy to do. All right, they're not really fragile leaves, so that's going to be on the front, and then your turnover, and this is pale chocolate, so this is chocolate with a little bit of flour cornstarch in it. So with the chocolate, I'm just going to just put a little bit of chocolate just at the very base on the back. So you see you have this lighter color on the back of the leaves, so they're almost like two-tone. And also I will just add a little bit of just a pale chocolate color just at the sort of the end of the stem, you know, so this part here, this sort of end part, just a little bit of browny color because they have obviously goes into a brown, all right? But this is just going to be the visible part. And then again, I'm going to steam this, and we'll then sort of spray with hairspray, and then we will then spray this with lacquer, or obviously you can brush this over with the glaze. And obviously you do both sides of the leaf here, so I'm going to spray this front and back. But you get this sort of nice two-tone sort of color for the leaves. And once we get it in place, we can then of course sort of move it around so you can see, you can actually sort of get depth with the leaves. So we're just going to lightly steam it, and I'm going to, again, I'm just going to go and spray this with lacquer. So here we have the boxwood, so that's just going to dry, so you spray that both sides or glaze it both sides, and that's ready to go into the arrangement. Next we're going to move on to the finishing off of the spruce. So for the spruce we're going to use some chocolate, so this is full strength chocolate brown, and we're going to put a little bit of chocolate at the bottom of the spruce, and then extinguish the color off the brush so you're not too much, and just on the tip there as well, just put a little bit of chocolate. So the same coloring as I did in book 4, all right? And then so you do that on all 3 of them, And then we're going to move on to paint. So I'm going to use, so this is white dusting powder. All right, now again with air drying clay, this could be just white acrylic paint. And just use white acrylic paint because that's also the liquid form. You can also, of course, use like a white gel color as well, but this is, you want it quite dry. I'm going to almost like dry brush like you would on pine cones as well. Of course, you can use the pearlized one as well, but we're just going to do the sort of snowy, so just slightly frosty color onto here. Just brush from the outside to the inside, okay? So that will just give you the, here. And then all we're going to do is just going to take a 20, this is a 20 gauge wire. So you're just going to take a 20 gauge wire. Now we're not going to add any pine cones to this. I'm just going to use the spruce. So just come down, up and down, gain about an inch, about 2.5 centimeters, 25 millimeters. And then I will then going to just tape the next one, the small, each side. So I'm just going to do a sort of or a sort of triangle here. And I'm just going to sort of bring those up quite close so you get that sort of branch. Of course, if you were doing pine cones, you'd put the pine cones in now. And I'm just going to come down to about halfway down the wire. And then I'm going to go up. And I'm going to come down. And then we'll finish off the bottom half just as a single, because we really won't see that. And then using scissors or your wire cutters, you're just going to just texture that a little bit. So you're just going to get that sort of bark effect on there. And that will be your spruce ready to go into the arrangement. So here we have, first of all, the tulip leaves made into a bow. And then we have the English boxwood. And then finally the blue spruce. So these are all ready to go into the arrangement along with the amaryllis, French tulips, and also the paper whites. I hope you've enjoyed this second part of the foliage that's going to go into our, as I said, Christmas sparkle arrangement. And so obviously we'll have fun making these. And remember, the French tulip leaves obviously can be used with the tulips, with the small tulips, just on their own. Of course, the amaryllis could be used as a really stunning statement flower. And boxwood is useful for any time of year. And then, of course, the spruce just adds another little holiday glamour to the arrangement. So in the next episode, that's going to be a single episode. I'm going to show you actually how we're going to put this all together. So sweet wishes, see you soon, bye.